So over the past couple months, I was asked by you guys a bunch of times to review this fragrance because it was one that I didn't have in my collection. It never showed up on my Macy's. I never really paid much attention to it until you guys started throwing me on it, telling me how good it was. By Carolina Herrera, it is CH Men Prive. Well, one of my subscribers, Eddie, I ended up buying it off of him, and so in this video, I'm going to be reviewing it. I've been wearing it now for a few weeks, and I'm going to tell you exactly what I get from it, give you a note breakdown, all of that. So without further ado, let's get it. Alright my dudes, welcome back to my channel. This is Randy, aka FragranceDoud, back with another fragrance video. Before I get into it, as always, like, comment, subscribe, share, hit the bell, all that good stuff. And if you like my content, consider following me on TikTok and Instagram. So again, about 2-3 days ago, now that Halloween's over, I did a video on my favorite 5 Halloween fragrances. And I did put this in honorable mentions, but I didn't want to have it in the list because I hadn't reviewed it yet. You guys were asking me over and over and over to review it because even though it's discontinued, you can normally find it. It pops on discounters all the time, and I had so many other things to buy. I didn't really put it at the top of the list. But then one of my subscribers, Eddie, said he was getting rid of his bottle, and so I bought it from him. By Carolina Herrera, this is CH Men Prive. So just a little bit of a show to the bottle. It's glass on the bottom, has this black matte or gloss. And then it has the Carolina Herrera symbol, CH and then CH backwards. And then it has that on the cap as well. And then it has this clasp. It's like a clasp on cap. I don't know how I feel about it. It's different, unique, kind of like it. And then here is the atomizer. Not bad at all. And Carolina Herrera never does have any bad atomizers, to be honest with you. So I was actually quite interested in this, but it didn't seem like it was my style of fragrance because I like the sweeter fragrances or the lighter, fresher fragrances. And this one was kind of in the more, I like the more youthful, and this was like more of the masculine fragrance. But when I got it, I was actually really surprised. But with that said, I'm going to give you the note breakdown, let you know what I get from this, and then let you guys know if it's worth picking up. So again, CH Men Prive, the top notes are whiskey, grapefruit, and pomelo. The mid notes are cardamom, lavender, sage, and thyme. And the base notes are leather, tonka, benzoin, and woods. So whenever I first got this fragrance, the CH Men Prive, I was thinking to myself, this is exactly what I thought it would be. It's a bit more of a mature, casual date night fragrance for the fall and winter. It does have that, but it also does have a bit of a fresh spiciness in there, and in the opening a little bit more of a freshness that will lend to being able to, especially where I live, during the spring and summer nights, I could see myself wearing it. With that said, it's not going to be for everybody. I could see why people like Eddie were selling him, or another one of my subs, Cole, sold his. It's more of a mature, 25 and older type fragrance, in my opinion. It's not going to be one for college kids or high school kids or anything like that. When you first spray this on, you can feel that mature, woody leather in the background. It's definitely there. You also do get some of that pomelo and then some bergamot, giving a little bit of a citrus freshness, but it's more on the freshness and less of the citrus. And it's more of an undertone, and it dissipates after about 5 to 10 minutes. It's just, that's where I said in the opening, it's a little bit fresher than as you move your way through. As you move your way about 10 minutes into the fragrance, this thyme comes in, as well as some of that sage, to lend a little bit of this aromatic feel to the fragrance. But overall, the way that this fragrance really does work is in the opening, it's more of a fresh, masculine, woody with a little bit of leather and aromatics. And then when you work your way into the base, you get some more of that woods coming up, some of that leather still in the background, and then you get that tonka bean and benzoin lending a bit of a sweetness. So I actually like this fragrance. The more it works its way into the dry down, the more I do like this fragrance. Because you get that sweetness, you get that booziness from the whiskey. And it's never a super boozy fragrance. It's never a super this or super that. It's a very nicely well blended fragrance that's in a designer. It's a high quality, well blended designer fragrance. The best way to say it's a sweet, a sweet, spicy, woody, masculine, casual fragrance for the fall and winter. Really, really, really nice. Again, it's not going to be for everybody. If you like your more masculine fragrances, if you like your fragrances that have leather in them, but it's not like an ombre leather where it feels like it smells like a leather jacket, and it's not one of those fragrances that has leather as a supporting undertone that you can hardly smell. This one, you can definitely smell the leather through the fragrance, but it's blended nicely. You also do get those woods that come off more of like a dry woods. It's actually quite nice. And then again, you get that booziness, and then as you work your way into the base, you get that tonka and benzoin, really giving it this nice sweet woods mixed with some spice in there from the cardamom. Cardamom usually comes off as like a fresh spiciness. This one really lends to being more of that spicy cardamom, less of the fresh spicy cardamom. Well, again, you still do get a bit of freshness. So take like a masculine. I can't really compare this to anything because it doesn't smell like much to me. But if you take like a woody fragrance that has a bit of sweetness to it and then freshen it up just a tiny bit, that's what you get here. It's dark. It's definitely masculine. It's definitely mature, but also lends to being a bit casual as well. So this is CH Men Prive. Overall, I would give it probably like an 8.0 out of 10. I know a lot of other people who like these type of fragrances would definitely like it. I can see myself wearing it, but not very often. Maybe certain situations like going out on a date night or something like that during the fall and winter. Just if I'm feeling a bit spicy, a bit saucy, that's what I'll wear here, but it's not going to be one of my favorites because it's not in my genre of the type of fragrances that I love, which are the lending to youthful fragrances, the sweeter fragrances, stuff like that. Those are the ones that I like. This one has a bit of that, but then it has a bit of the woodiness and that leather and stuff. It's very nice. If you do like the mature fragrances, you'll like this. If you are one of the people like me who with woods and leather, when they're the heavier parts of the fragrance, you might not like this. Or you might just be like me where you're like, I like it, but I'm not over the moon about it. So that's CH Men Prive. Let me know what you guys think about it. As far as I didn't even get the performance. So the performance of this is around 7 to 9 hours. I got 7.5 hours for the first 4 times. And then as it got colder outside, I got an extra hour or so out of it, which is to be expected. And then you get about arm's length for the first 2.5 hours, and then it becomes more of a skin scent. It's one that you're going to get wafts of for a while, but it's not going to overly project. It's not going to be a room filler. It's not going to be anything like that. I was looking up at different comparisons as to what people compare this to, and they didn't really make sense to me. This one kind of sits by itself. It is a nice, woody, masculine, sweet, spicy fragrance that has that booziness in it, and that booziness is definitely more noticeable as you get to the base, as is the leather, as is the woods, and then you get that sweetness in there. If I could change it at all, I would add a bit more of a sweetness to it and dial down that masculine tone, but it's just me and my type of fragrance that I like. But overall, it's a good fragrance. I'll keep it in my collection, not one that I will end up selling anytime down the road. I'll probably end up wearing through this. So thank you to Eddie for sending it to me. Let me know in the comments what you guys think of CH Men Prive. If you get the same thing from me, if you prefer the woodier fragrances, the more masculine, boozy, leather fragrances like this is, or if you prefer the more sweet fragrances like Spice Bomb Infrared, Most Wanted, stuff like that, like I do. I'm trying to work my way more into the more mature fragrances. It's just, I do like them. I just never found one that I love. So anyway, yeah, thank you guys so much. I'm not going to keep you guys here all day. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll be back with another video. Thanks so much. Peace.